not see the second. It depends on the overall DPS of the group, but either way, whenever we are taking towers, we are always going to be in the left looking at the boss. The rule applies to all groups, so Alpha and 1 are always to the left, Bravo and 2 will always be in the tower at the back, and Charlie and 3 will always be in the tower at the right. Okay. Okay. The most important mechanic to know for boss 1 is called meteors. The reason this is important is because it's personal responsibility to a certain degree, but also has the potential for you to kill other people. During the meteor phase, the boss is going to place a meteor down at one end of the arena. It's either going to be all the way north or all the way south. This meteor is going to create a huge circular AoE that basically covers the entire top half or bottom half of the arena. So if the meteor is north, the entire north half of the arena is going to be covered by this AoE. It extends over halfway through the entire length of the arena. We need to use that information to do some positioning correctly. Players during meteors are going to get meteor debuffs. They're going to have a little marker over their head. They're going to have a meteor debuff. When the debuff expires, they are going to place an equally large AoE or equally large meteor somewhere in the arena. So the smart thing to do is, of course, to stack them with the bosses. If all of the meteors are stacked in one spot, it means that the already unsafe position is the only unsafe position. As I said, these are huge. They cover if you put them in the middle of the dead center of the arena, it's going to cover the entire arena. So we want to stack them all together. The problem with that is that this boss, when he is sitting down on the floor, you cannot cross through him. He is a solid object. So that is where 4 people will have a special job. If they get a stack marker, they need to use their stack markers to launch the meteor players to the correct side of the arena. However, there's going to be 4 people with stack markers, and they don't all knock people in the same direction. 2 of them are going to knock people south. 2 of them are going to knock people north. Luca, the thing that just happened with Vidar was account hacking. So the thing with the meteors is that you have 4 stack markers, and 2 of them knock players north, 2 of them knock players south. If you look at this meteor from the side, there is a blue arrowed line that comes up out of the meteor and in an arc lands somewhere to the north or the south. You can put in your ciphers while we do the explanations here. When you have the stack marker, you cannot turn it. You cannot change the direction that this line goes. So the only way to resolve it is to place yourself on the correct side of the boss. That means that line, that knock line, that line that comes up out of the meteor, needs to be pointed at the boss. Just one cipher. If the line is pointed at the boss, it means that when the players get knocked, they're going to be knocked towards the boss. From there, when you are on the correct side of the boss, the position you do your stack marker in is going to change depending on what side of the arena you're on. If you're on the side of the arena with the meteor players, you're going to be in the boss's hitbox so that you and all the meteor players get knocked over the top of the boss and land on the safe side. If you are on the side that is already safe, you need to be taking your stack marker all the way at the far end of the arena so that way you're not, when you get knocked up into the air, you don't land on the unsafe side of the boss. Since this is the most important mechanic, I'm going to get into our little run thread for the whole 8 of us. A video of the meteor mechanic done from the meteor perspective, or done from the stack marker perspective. Just give me a moment to grab the link to that. This one. There we go. The video is about 30 seconds long, but if you look at it, you can see how I turn my camera angle and look at it from the side. That makes it so much easier for me to see the blue line that is coming up out of the stack marker. All right. Everything else about boss 1 is going to be easily resolved in terms of it's either a knockback or we have to stand far from the boss, which we can talk about once we're in the arena. I don't think there's anything else to cover about boss 1 that is actually important. One of you is the time mage. If we do see ads, which I expect we will, you will have to do a dispel during one part of the fight, but it is not. You need to do it quickly, but not so quickly that like you need to panic. All right, make sure you stay on the pavilion. We're going to get teleported in shortly. You'll see that we get a buff that tells us we are the target for being teleported. Make sure you stay on the glowy pavilion.
I'm gonna yank you, Azella, for a second. Sorry.
Yo.
And since Azella got stolen for a second, don't hop down once you're out of the cutscene.
All right, I return. Let's see. Make sure you're on the correct job and phantom job. This is where we typically do a roll call to make sure everybody is on the correct job. It's a little bit awkward because we are the one man out party. You can keep watching your cutscene, no worries. All right, we're a letter group, so we go off to the left here with the other letter groups. Let's see. Let me check our party's phantom jobs while we wait on the other side's roll call. Yep, that looks all correct. Everybody's on the correct job and Phantom job. So the way this works is Haru is calling out particular people to come to the middle to do their role to show that they are on the correct job. So that was Rangers. This right now is the Thieves. This is Time Mages, so you can go into the middle with them. Good job. Right, you can come back. This is the Bard call. You can come back. All right, we can go jump down now. We are ready to go. I've already checked our jobs and Phantom jobs. Always wait until your party leader tells you it is okay to jump down. Once you are down, you cannot change your job or Phantom job again. Like, you're just kind of stuck. There's a crystal here. This is for knight buffs and occasionally Phantom dancers if you have them in your party. Don't use the bard one. Don't use the monk one. There's never any monks, but don't use it anyways. And we can jump up to the top. We can use this transportation sigil. This is the boss one arena. You can see it is a very long arena. When I talk about meteors, like this back line, this very back edge is where it's going to be placed, and this whole half of the arena is going to be unsafe. I'm standing off to the left right now, and I am jumping on a white line. This white line, if you look at the boss's hitbox, there is an equal white line in front of him. The boss does a knockback, and if you stand in that white line, you will get knocked back to this white line. So when we say stay close to the boss for knockback, we want you to be in that white line or closer. Be careful walking like right up into the boss, like running into him if he's doing a lift up or something. He does have a death wall underneath him. It goes away during certain mechanics, but some people, like when they're doing thief, they can occult sprint into it, and it's kind of funny, but it will kill you. Going to do a ready check. You can have food on. As Lucas said, you don't need to have stance on as a knight tank. You don't need to have stance until for bosses until the third boss. We do, but we typically do that at boss 2. All right, the countdown has started. We do start with a raid wide, so make sure you do some shielding once we get going here. This is the raid wide. The boss is going to lift up and we're going to run through him. It's going to be far from the boss. We want to clear the halfway point. We're going to go back through the boss and it's going to be far again. Tank busters will be on Charlie. They're going to be stacked. They're going to be using their proper invulns. No shields on our berserker, but do keep them topped up. Number players are going to get ready to move through the boss. Letter players stay. We're letters, so we're going to stay. We want to be close to the boss. It's knockback. It is always the knockback or far first, then towers. Into your tower. We're going to go to the right side, the Charlie 3 side. And then we're going to end on Alpha. Right, this is the meteor mechanics spread out so it's easier to see what you have, whether you have the meteor or the stack markers. Remember, you cannot turn the stack markers, but you do need to pay attention to where the line is pointing and make sure it's pointing at the boss. Meteors are going to stay, others are going to go through, and everybody is going to be close for knockback. Close for knockback. Right. Meteor stack markers are going to go at the boss. Safe side stack markers are at the far wall. You're going to get probably hit by one of these. Make sure it's only ones. A meteor gap closed or was too close. Right side, 3 marker. We're going to end on Charlie. Move to Charlie. Once we're on the Charlie marker, we can start raising anybody that's on the floor. And this is going to be add phase. Number players will move through, letters will stay, and then we will dispel the middle add. Right, numbers are going through. Right, dispel the big guy. Priority of kill does not matter, we just want them to die. And then back on the boss. All right, we're going into a mechanic I didn't explain earlier, but it is basically Towers of version 2. There's going to be towers and they're going to be stacked on top of each other. The statues that have just spawned or for the number players to float with. We're going to move to the side with the stack markers and we're going to go far from the boss. Far from the boss first. Numbers are going to go under a statue. And then everybody takes their tower. And then we go to the back left of the arena. There we go. Always wait if you are a chemist until you're sure the entire party is alive, that nobody has disconnected before teleporting up. At the top here is going to be a personal spoils. Everybody must interact with it. It is personal. There's a new crystal for knights and again phantom dancers if you have them to debuff or to do their buff at. We are letters, so we go to the left up here. Numbers always go to the right. Gonna wait for the okay until other people start moving. All right, we can start teleporting. All right, so this is the hallways section of tower. It is a split section. There are individual calls for both sides. It is just mirrored. However, the speed at which you go through is different depending on what group you're in. If you come forward up here, there is a red line on the floor. If you look at it from the top down, that is where traps can be. They've already scanned and there's no trap in this first room here, so they're going to pull the mobs. We want to slow the manticore, slow the scarab. It's always very important to slow. And then we Ayanuki to kill everything with one shots today. They're looking right now for a big trap. And they found it, and Haru wants me to get rid of it. So big traps are commonplace here in Tower. They go through walls. They are very large. This is a small trap. Less dangerous, but still deadly. At the top of this staircase is an electric blue floor. We can't walk into it. Our Geo can float and go interact with the trap control orb. It'll remove the floor. We're going to dodge the AoEs. We're going to just kill these mobs before we move forwards. All right, there's no trap in this immediate room once you've removed the blue floor, but after this doorway can be a trap. Looks like it's on the staircase today. And we'll get rid of it. There is a green orb that is just passing by the doorway here. This, if you're a caster, is no good. It gives you silence for 60 seconds that can't be removed. They've pulled the mob, so we're going to slow. We're going to Ayanuki. We're going to kill them. Respect the AoEs. You can't guarantee that anything is going to be interrupted. Haru is explaining something before we get rid of this trap. Probably what it looks like for his people. All right, the mob behind is going to be pulled. We want to slow again. Ayanuki on cooldown. Respect the AoEs. The green orb is going to be coming towards us as we finish killing this mob pack, so if you're a caster, you want to move to the other side of the wall. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of a cheese in here. Probably the what is it? The thief is gonna go with Haru and Luca, and they're gonna go see which side is safe, which side has the personal spoils. We're able to do this by going up to that pillar and using our extra wide camera angles to just peek into the room ahead of time. Looks like it's not on that side, so we're gonna kill the moth today. The loot is always there. You just sometimes have to kill 2 mob packs if you're not able to do the peek in. It just saves you a bit of time instead of having to kill 2 packs to just kill 1. And in this room is your next personal spoils to pick up. This entire section is the first of 2 things that are optional and are skipped during prog runs and speed re-clears. It just takes a lot of time to come down here and do this for the extra little bit of sanguinite when instead we could just do a whole extra run, which is a little bit more engaging. The thief is going to do a cool little room, so if we're new, we're going to go check it out with them. There's a doorway here to go up with some stairs. At the top of the stairs is a trap room. It's a very long room. It's got a really fancy looking floor and wall and ceiling design. Haru stepped into it to show what it looks like when it activates. However, this room is a timed room. So if you don't solve the room in time, it explodes. And if it explodes, you die. The thief is going to use occult sprint and run across the room, the whole length of it, to use detect at the far end of the room. There'll be a doorway for them to go through, and then they'll continue on and jump down the other side to open a door for us. This is the second of two optional things. This is the thief room, very specifically, that's what we call it. And there's our friend, the green orb. Once the thief has gone through the room, we will double back now and go to the first side where we killed some moms. You can see the waiting gang here. These are people that have already cleared. They already understand how everything works. They're just chilling and waiting for us to get there. Be careful when you come through here. There can be traps that could have been revealed or not revealed depending on where the thief is. And then there is the personal spoils for this side. Okay, there's our friend the green orb coming back. So there's another blue electric floor. Once again, our geo can float and go deactivate it. There will be traps on the other side of this. There's going to be at least one small trap on the other side of the blue. So don't run forwards. Be on the Manticore's left side. He's going to do a cleave on that side and then immediately do the other side. We're going to dodge into it, move. All right. So there's that little trap that was found. This little hallway here has the potential to have a big trap in it, but it was in the last one, so this is safe this time. There's a moth and a manticore here. We're going to focus on the manticore. Focus on the manticore. All right, be on the manticore's right side or outrange it, one of the two. Perfect. All right, you can go build some gauge on the moth. All right. There's a barrier here. There's normally a barrier sigil that has been activated already. We have to wait for the other side to finish their own hallway, and when they come through, they're going to activate their sigil, and then this wall is going to drop down. However, when it does, please do not just jump down. I'm going to use markers because we are just one party today. But there can be a trap right here. And if you jump in this direction towards that marker, you can in fact land in it. I have seen it happen. It is quite funny. But if you're gonna jump down towards the middle of the room. That is definitely safer there. And wait for the traps to either be sniped by blind snipers or found by the thieves. There's the other side. They have already cleared their trap. They're gonna activate the barrier sigil. There's the wall. Looks like the trap's not there. Trap might be behind the doorway. Yep, there it is. And then we can go through to the boss. All right, so this is boss 2. These are the Dead Star Trios. I call them the Laboobos, the Lafufus, whatever your flavor text is. We do the Chemist convention over on the left where Haru is running around right now. All of the chemists will gather over there, and that's when we do bind markers for them to make it easier. So this is a trio boss. There are 3 bosses. Therefore, we're going to all have our... each party is going to have their own specific target. Alpha and 1 parties are on the green boss Phobos. Bravo and 2 are on the middle red boss Triton. And Narrate and 3, or Charlie and 3 will be on Narrate, the purple boss that is on the right. We have marked ours with an attack 1 marker. That's who our boss is. When the fight starts, we're gonna pull them middle. We're gonna cleave them down. You want to use your Ayanuki early here because you can hit all 3 of them at the same time. After this, they're gonna jump to their markers. In this case, the green one jumps to 3, the red one jumps to Bravo, and the purple one jumps to 1. You're gonna follow your boss and touch the hitbox. They're each gonna do a big, large circular AoE. You are going to be hit by one of them, but you want to make sure you're only hit by one of them. This AoE is going to tether you to the boss you are hit by. So provided everybody goes to their boss and is correct, we shouldn't need to adjust and change who we're targeting. If tethers go wrong, you'll need to attack a different boss, because if you are tethered to, say, the red boss, but you are at the green boss, you are doing 0 damage when you're attacking the green boss. The big first mechanic that happens is going to be a tank buster. It is a big cleave. So it is a big conal cleave. Luca will be taking it for our group, and he's going to be pointing it out the wall. This should be the case at every single boss. After the tank buster, they're going to jump middle and start the snowball mechanic. Slime mechanic. The slime mechanic is done with debuffs. You're going to get a debuff after a raid wide. It's either going to be a fire red debuff or a blue ice debuff. It comes in 1, 2, or 3 stacks. The red and purple boss will turn into a fire red and blue ice slime, and they're going to preview 4 jumps around the arena. These slimes only jump to intercardinals, and they only do each intercardinal once. Their AoEs are large, but not so large that they cover the entire arena, but if they are both, for example, on the right side, they cover the entire right half of the arena, so they're about that big. You will need to pay attention to these because you need to cleanse your debuff. And the way to do that is to get hit by the opposite type of AoE. So if you have a 3 stack of the fire red debuff, you need to be hit by 3 blue ice AoEs. They will preview the 4 jumps before they do them, so you need to remember where you're supposed to go. The way this works best is during the first preview, you stand in the first AoE you need to be hit by. Everybody needs to be hit by at least 1. Then you're going to pay attention to where the markers and the lines that the markers are on are the type of safe spot you want. So, for example, again, if I have the 3 fire red debuff and I'm standing here at 2 and I'm in a blue AoE, the next time that the blue AoE shows up, it shows up on the A line. I'm going to remember that I want to move towards the A marker, and then perhaps towards the Charlie marker, and then perhaps to the 1 marker. You'll always need to remember 3 spots, because if you start in 1 and there's 4 jumps, you only need to remember 3. You don't want to go marker to marker, though, because if you're if you happen to need to go from Bravo to 2 or 2 to Bravo, for example, and you're from the marker to marker, you are not going to make it in time. However, Luca is sitting on this line here. You can just use this circle around the middle here. This is as far as you need to be. So the closer you are, the easier it is. You don't have to be all the way middle, but this nice circular part of the arena, these lines on the floor, use that as your guide. Remember the markers, remember the lines for the markers. You can also do things like remembering you need to move left to right 1, whatever you need. It's a personal mechanic. We cannot resolve it for you. The best we can do is call out where the final safe spot will be, because it will always be 1/2 of the arena, and everybody will, nobody has 4 stacks, so most people are already cleansed by then. Once Slimes is over, if you didn't manage to cleanse, the next raid wide will kill you. Do not, under any circumstances, accept raises until after the bosses that were Slimes turn back into themselves and do a jumping cleave. They're going to jump to 2 markers, and there's always going to be a marker in between them, so they might jump to 3 and 1. If that happens, then the marker 2 behind 2 is safe. So right here where I'm currently standing next to these green tiles, this area will be safe because what they do is a cone cleave in front of them. It means that this little strip here, if they're both at 3 and 1, is safe. So it's always between them. They're going to repeat that after every big mechanic. So they're going to repeat it after snowballs. They're going to repeat it after fireballs. Once they've done the jumping cleave, you can accept raises, and then we're going to go back to our markers. The bosses will then do Delta attack. Healers, this is a heavy hitting raid wide. It hits 3 times. This is where you really need to be paying attention. If you eat this with no mitigation at all, you're basically guaranteeing the party will die. After the Delta attack will be a line stack, and then it will be the snowball mechanic. Snowball mechanic is the hardest mechanic at this boss, just because of how it works. The purple boss is going to jump middle, and then the red and green boss are going to turn into snowballs. The letter snowball will be at Bravo. The number snowball will be at 3. The snowballs are going to preview 3 line stacks on the floor. This is the path the snowball is going to roll around the arena. Each snowball has 3 lines. There are 6 parties. Each party has a line that they're taking. We do this in order, so Alpha and 1 take the first line from their snowball. Bravo and 2 take the second, and then Charlie and 3 will take the third. Do not use knockback resist during this section. You can use it to not be knocked back by these lines. They do a little bit of a knockback, but it's not so long that you should just just ride the knockback, okay? You don't want to be so close to the edge of the tail end of the line just in case you do get knocked into the death wall. But generally speaking, I don't see many people go out that far anyways, so you're typically going to be okay. Once you have taken your line, don't take a second line. It gives you a vulnerability. Taking 2 lines will kill you. These lines are wild charges, meaning the first person hit is getting hit with a mini tank buster, so you want your tanks to be the first ones hit. No mitigation is required for it, but if you're a DPS, you're pretty likely to die or be very close to death from the damage. Once the 3 line stacks have happened, 2 players out of all 48 of us are going to get tethered, 1 to each snowball. This tether also comes with a stack marker. We call these the stack tethers. The boss in the middle is going to do a knockback. It's going to knock from the middle of the arena to the outside edge here. And then the snowball stacks are going to jump to the player they are tethered to. This means, as a tethered player, you need to be knocked away from your snowball. So if you're tethered to the snowball and it's sitting on Bravo, you want to be knocked towards 2. And yes, now wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay, good. It is the most important thing that if you have the stack tether, that the tether is stretched through the boss in the middle so that you get knocked away from the boss, away from your snowball. You want to be knocked with players, though, because this stack marker needs to hit 8 people in order for the snowball to be targetable or to be vulnerable afterwards. So make sure you stand with the group. If you do not have the stack tether, there are 2 purple markers in the middle of the arena, 4 and Delta. These are the markers we're going to use for knockback. The letter group always backs towards Bravo and Charlie. Numbers go to 2 and 3. Those are the only possible positions for the knockback. The snowballs are never on Alpha and 1. If you stand in those markers and get knocked back, you're going to get knocked back right about here where I am jumping. This is not far enough. You need to move out towards the death wall. You want to be as close to the death wall as possible because the stack marker does proximity damage based on how close the snowball was before it started. So if you are here, you are taking 200,000 damage. If you are here, you are taking 40. So make sure once you get knocked back, you move back towards the wall as quickly as possible. If you're a Phantom Samurai, of which there is one of, you can use Shira Hadori, your physical invulnerability skill, during the knockback, and you will take no damage from the snowball stack. Snowball stack is physical, so use that to your advantage. You want to ride the knockback in this fight. Do not knockback invuln. And jump if you understood that. if you've got questions about snowballs, it's a great time to ask them because this is the major killer mechanic. If it takes, like I said, it's 2 people out of 48. It is entirely possible that you never ever get the snowball stack, and it is it's really easy to make a mistake the first time you get it. After snowballs, we'll have another jumping cleave, we'll have another delta attack, and then we go into the tank buster line stack combo. Tanks are going to stand to the left, party is going to stand to the right. We just don't want them to overlap each other. Easy peasy. And then we go into the fireball mechanic. Fireballs is mostly a downtime gaming mechanic. Letters are going to go to alpha, numbers are going to go to 1. And we are going to move or stay and take fireball towers at one of the markers. You never move more than 2 markers away from your starting point. So, for example, if the fireballs are going to be on Charlie and 3, players on Alpha do not move to Charlie. That's crossing a marker. Alpha would be going to 3, 1 would be going to Charlie. You do not want to cross over a marker to get to the spot where you're trying to go. If on accident you end up at the wrong fireball, just stay there. Just stay there. Because these fireball towers, they will target a random DPS and a random healer for big, wide, conal cleaves. If 2 of these cleaves are taken on top of each other, everybody hit by it dies. So we want to make sure we don't accidentally bait any of them towards the middle of the arena by trying to run to the correct side. Wherever, just commit to where you are, where you've ended up. Once we are at the marker that the fireball is going to be at, a big tower is going to spawn in the middle. It's quite wide, but it's not so wide that it reaches the death wall. So if you're a DPS, if the fireball tower is at the 2 right now, we would be standing here at this part out here towards the death wall. You can see that there's the green tiles on either side of us. We want to be on this line at the wall. The healers are going to be in this white section here to the left or right. So me and Haru are jumping on the left side. You can see a bunch of people jumping on the right side. You want to be outside of the tower, but you want to be having it so that if you get targeted by the cone, it goes out to the left or the right. And then tanks will be taking the fireball tower in the middle. It does tank 1's first and then tank 2 second. I don't know, Luca, if you wanted to swap what order you're doing it with. Because on reclears and stuff, we just send all of the tanks into the tower. So it's going to be tank 1 first. So you're going to go into the tower. You're going to mitigate a little bit for the first hit, and then you're going to pop your invuln. The tower will hit 3 times, so you'll take 3 hit. No, you take the first. You're tank 1. So you're going to go into the tower, you're going to mitigate, and then you're going to press your invuln. If you're a tank and you're not taking a fireball tower at any time, you're going to just chill with the DPS or the healers. Just don't chill in between because that's a place where the cones overlap and will kill you. Once the 3 hits have gone off, once the 3 cleaves have gone out, we're all going to stack on the wall with the DPS. And we're going to rotate around the marker clockwise. So that means looking at the fireball, we're going to go to the left. And we're going to bait 3 AoEs. So we're going to bait 1 all the way at the death wall. We're going to bait the second one to the side. We're going to bait the third one towards the boss in the middle. And then we're going to take a line stack on the 4th side of the fireball. The line stack is coming from the boss in the middle. So once the line stack is done, you're going to get back into your position again. DPS on the line at the wall. Healers to the sides, and then tank 2s will be in the tower. We'll have another set of 3 cleaves, and then at that point, if any of the fireballs are still alive, we're just going to burst them down. Any questions? Did I miss anything, Luca?
Not to my knowledge.
All right. If you got any questions, this is a great time to ask. Also, because we're just an individual party. So have a chat, Necro. Yep, they are just for the snowball knockback unless you have the tether. You ignore them if you have the tether. I will call out not necessarily the marker itself, but I will say to get knocked back on the 4 or the delta line. So, yeah. Numbers and letters have their own set of markers for this. So ours, because we are a letter group, ours are towards the Bravo and Charlie side. Numbers group have a 4 and a delta marker on the 2 and the 3 side. All right, countdown has started. We can move a little bit closer to middle. We're going to pull the middle to cleave them down. You want to use your big hits. Like I said, Ayanuki, use Comet. Two, one. Right. We're pulling the middle. Get your cleaves off. And then follow your boss and touch the hitbox. Looks like there's one wrong tether. They're already swapping. This is the Tank Buster. All right, don't get hit by any of the point blanks on the floor. The other bosses will have an orange underneath them. We're going to have a raid wide from the green boss to give out debuffs. All right, check your debuff. Remember, you're cleansing with the opposite. The Bravo side is safe, the entire north half of the arena. All right, we can put raises on people, but please don't accept them. This is going to be another raid wide. Again, we can put raises, but wait to accept them. The other two bosses are going to get up, and we're going to go between where they jump. We're going to go behind one, behind one. You can accept raises now. Tanks are going to provoke and take their bosses back to their markers. We're going to get ready for the next stealth attack. We can already start mitigating and shielding. One, two, three. We'll have a line stack that we're going to point out of the arena. All right, this is going to be the snowball mechanic. Try to help raise other people that are on the floor. There's some other players and other parties that are down. Don't be in the orange. Letter snowball will be at Bravo. Number snowball is at 3. Attack the purple boss while you wait. Alpha and 1 tanks in front. Bravo and 2 tanks in front. Charlie and 3 tanks in front. All right, check to see if you get the line, the tether. We're going to knock back on the delta line. At the wall together with the stack. And we are going to go to 2. There is a reset. We're going to have a chemist jump into the wall, and then we're going to raise them. All right, we're just going to return out and relevel. All right, they're going to spawn a CE. We like the Garula one. It's got full uptime. If you want to change your job or phantom job for the critical engagement, that is okay. So what went wrong is I assume because so many people died that while the snowball tethers were great, the line stacks themselves, when the snowballs are rolling around, they need to hit at least 4 people. There were a bunch of parties that had a lot of people lost during the Delta attack and such before. So I'm going to assume that the one of them didn't have enough. Yeah, party 2 only had 2 people in the line. So the snowballs spawn with 4 stacks of invulnerability, and it loses a stack for each line stack that it does that has 4 people in it. And then it loses the last one if the stack marker hits 8 people. Yeah, unfortunately, the party that had the issue, they lost both of their healers just before Delta attack, which, as I said, it's a heavy hitter. So with no healers, the rest of the party fell over. And, you know, their bodies buried under the group means it's hard to get everybody up in time for snowballs. All right, looks like it is the weird pot critical engagement. Everybody needs to be in this. So if you want to level another phantom job, you can swap right now to something else that needs to be leveled. Nice try, Luca.
Have you known I've done it before?
I assume you have, but just nice try.
I just mistimed it. It's fucking hella close to time.
All right. I think you just need to get a fate done to get up to level 20. Haru says we're taking a break for 5 minutes, so you can get your fate done now. If you're level 20, you can leave the instance already if you'd like to. Look like somebody is having a German internet day. All right, new ready check. All right, we're getting queued in. Make sure you hit commence. All right, our whole party is level 20, so make sure you have a cipher, and then you can head to the pavilion. And if you want to AFK for another 5 minutes, otherwise you can go look for treasure coffers if you'd like to. Make sure you do not AFK for too long. They're going to be killing the fate, which increases the speed at which tower spawns. Of course, make sure you have a cipher ready to go. And if you had any other boss 1 or boss 2 questions, now is a great time to throw them into party chat. Alright, Pavilion is active. You can put in your next cipher. There's still one missing cipher, so double check that it's not anyone in this group. Alright, we're about to be teleported in. Make sure you are on the pavilion. Make sure you're on the right job and phantom job. We don't really need to do a roll call this time around. But the jobs and phantom jobs look good, so we can jump down. Make sure you have food on. Oop, that's not the right party. Don't forget to buff at the crystal. Thank you, Luca. Right. Time for ready check. Countdown has started. Can do shields at 10 for the raid wide. There's the raid wide. Get ready to move through the boss. Through the boss and far. Through the boss and far. Get ready to move back through and far again. Tank busters on Charlie. Numbers are going to get ready to move through the boss. Numbers through everyone far, far from the boss. Take your tower. Get ready for the rotation. Right side, Charlie 3. We're going to end the mechanic on Alpha. Right, spread out for meteors. Again, double check what you have. If you've got the stack marker, the line needs to point towards the boss. If you've got a meteor, you need to stack it with the boss's meteors. Meteors stay, everyone else through. It's far from the boss. Meteors can pre-position far. Into your stack markers. And then out of the orange. Left side, 1 marker. And then end on alpha. Everybody on alpha. Okay. Add phase is next. Get ready for the dispel. Number group will move through. Right. Numbers through. Time mage, get ready. Right. Dispel the big. Kill them in any order. And back on the boss. All right, statues are spawning for the number groups for their floating. We're going to move to the side with the towers and everybody close for knockback. Close for knockback. Knockback is first. And nice skip. Make sure everybody is up before you use the transport sigil. Grab your personal spoils at the top. Then you can rebuff with the crystal. Alright, I have just been given permission to blind snipe. Alright, mobs are going to be pulled. Make sure they get slowed. Nice one shots. Mobs have been pulled. Let's get them slowed. Time Mage can, or not Time Mage, Geo can go activate the sigil, or the orb. Alright, make sure you're dodging the AoEs. Alright, again, keep the slow up. Keep yourself safe. Oh, I didn't know that stuns them. It's neat. Alright, respect the AoEs. Alright. Kill the manticore. Just like that, yeah. Good one shot. Grab your next personal spoils. The thief is off to go do the thief room. We're gonna meet them on the other side. We already know the big has been popped, so we can move through the hallway there. Be careful, there can be smalls that are gonna be popped in a second. Luca has pulled the mobs, so good luck. Make sure they get slowed. Manticore's left side or outrange it. Get ready to dodge. Move. Alright, keep them separate. Focus on the manticore. Focus on the manticore. And I guess build gauge while you can, because it's about to die. Yep. It's safe to jump down, just don't go through the doorway. And it's safe to move through. Alright, Chemist Convention is off to the left. Is there any questions about Boss 2? We're waiting on the other groups to go over some stuff. All right, you ready, chicks? Countdown has started. Remember, we're going to pull them all middle to start with. And pull. Get your cleave off. And follow your boss and touch the hitbox. Tethers are good. Tank busters on the wall. Don't get hit by any of the point blank AoEs on the floor. Raid white from the green boss to give out debuffs. Remember, you're cleansing with the opposite. Alpha 3 side, Alpha 3 side. Alright, wait to accept any raises until after the jumping cleave. There's a raid white here. Pay attention to the other two bosses and go between where they jump. One behind one. Alright, you can accept your raises now. Reprovoke the boss and take it back to its marker. Delta attack, mitigate, and shield. Line stacks, we're going to point them out of the arena. And it's time for the snowball mechanic. Letter snowball is on Bravo. Number snowball is on 3. Don't stand in the point blank. You can attack the purple boss while we wait. Alpha 1 tanks in front. Bravo 2 tanks in front. Charlie 3 tanks in front. Check to see if you have the stacked tether. We're going to knock back on the 4 line. The 4 line. all the way out at the wall. And then we're going to burst down the snowball. We're going to move middle. You can help the other side once ours is dead. And then back on the boss. The other two are going to get up, and we're going to go in between where they jump. It's behind one. We're going to reprovoke and take them back to their markers. And then it's going to be the next Delta attack. Again, mitigate and shield. Aggro tank to the left, party to the right. 2, 3. Yep. And this is the tank buster line stack combo. We just don't want them to overlap, so move a little bit more over. Perfect. All right, this is going to be the fireball section. We do it as a downtime gaming thing. Letters to alpha, numbers go to 1. Letters to alpha, numbers to 1. Don't worry about your uptime. Fireballs are at alpha and 1, so DPS on the line at the wall, healers to the sides, tank 1s in the tower. Tank 1's invuln. One more hit. Together with the DPS at the wall, everybody stack up at the wall. Going clockwise, 1, 2, 3. We're going to take the line stack to the side of the fireball. Tank 2's in the tower, DPS on the line at the wall, healers to the sides, just don't overlap. Tank 2's invuln. And we're done. We can pick people up off the floor. You can build some gauge on the red boss, but it is at 0. The other two bosses will get up and jump eventually. If you have no rune stacks, you can chill at Bravo, but otherwise, we're going to go behind 1. You can attack the other bosses now, especially if you're ranged. At this point, they're going to equal out their HP, but they are not going to have their debuffs anymore, so technically you can hit any of them. But we're going to go back to our marker just in case we see the mechanic afterwards, but I don't think we're going to see much of it, if any. This is a raid-wide shielding and party mitts. Shielding and party mitts, or Luca's favorite, the tank LB. Alright, no soft and rage pizza tip for us today. Death wall is still up, so be careful. The personal spoil is going to be just outside of the death wall here. Make sure you grab it. There's a new crystal to do the night buff at. This is another split section of bridge. It gets split for newbie and proc runs. You'll sometimes see reclear runs do all of this in one voice channel, but with letters to the left, numbers to the right once again. This section of the section of tower is called bridges. As you can see, there is a giant bridge and there's 2 sides. There are several sections to the bridge. The first section here has tower boots and tower bogies. They don't really do anything. The boot can do a paralyzed cast that needs to be interrupted. Anybody can do it. No need to save it. We're going to be blind sniping the bridge today. There are traps on the bridge, so please play it safe and stay back unless we tell you to move forwards. There is an ethereal ward just behind this first pack. That is a wall. We need to kill it in order to move on. Please be careful doing big AoEs such as dances or really long line AoEs on top of the ward. You can accidentally target the mob behind it. It looks like a floating dress. It's called the Tower Abyss. That mob, when it gets aggroed, it casts a buff on itself, a magic up, and then it casts a raid wide. If it gets that raid wide off While it still has that buff, we will wipe. For our time mage, that is where you're going to be really important. Once that mob gets aggroed, I want you to just dispel spam it until it dies. It's the safest thing to do. Especially since you're here and not in the voice with the other side. There is a trap, a small trap that will be behind the tower abyss. I will not pop that trap until we take the ward down. So don't go past the hitbox of the tower abyss, just stay in front of it. While all of that is happening, there's going to be line AoEs on the floor. It covers the entire arena. We're going to be taking the line that is to the middle left, like where me and Haru are currently jumping. Tanks will need to be in front because it gives a mini tank buster and then it gives a vuln. We'll rotate the parties. It'll be our party alpha first, and then it'll be Bravo, and then berserkers, anybody without debuffs, in that order. After we get to the Tower Abyss and after we kill it, there's another ward. Once we take that ward down, bards need to be on the outside wall. You need to be as far away from the other side of the bridge as possible. There's going to be some ads that spawn and they're going to all start casting Ancient Arrow 3 or whatever number it is. If that cast goes off, we die. It is basically doing 1,000,000 damage for each one of them, and there's 6 of them. We will need to use the Bard's Romeo's Ballad to interrupt them, but you want to wait for the call because if you do it too early, before they start casting, they can no longer be interrupted and they will start casting again. But also, if you do it from the side of the bridge or from the middle of the bridge, you might hit the other side's ads. So we as letters might hit the numbers ads, and that's not so good because if theirs haven't started casting, we've just caused a wipe because their ads can no longer be interrupted. So as far away from the other side of the bridge as you can get. There are 2 traps in that section, but we'll pop them before we even get that ward down. There's going to be a gap if you open up the map right now. There is a gap on the floor. There is where we're going to have to wait for the numbers side geo to activate an orb to build the rest of the path for us. On the other side of that path, on the other side of that gap is going to be another tower boot and tower bogey pack. Again, they just do a paralyze that can be interrupted. They are underneath them on both sides of the bridge will be a large and a small trap. Again, in this instance, we're blind sniping, so we won't have the traps to worry about, but keep that in mind going forwards in future runs. You don't want to run into that pack. You want to always pull them with a ranged attack because there can be big traps there will be big traps underneath them. Once that pack has been pulled, once our bridge gap has been filled, we're going to go forward a little bit. There's going to be a couple more traps that will be exploded, and then our Geo can go activate the orb. At the very end of the bridge, each side has a boss, essentially. It's called a tower or something or other. Or progenitor and progenitrix, whatever, One for each side. We're going to have one main tank on each side, and we're going to have to move this ad forward or close to the other side of the bridge and far from the other side of the bridge. These 2 bosses tethered to each other. Again, they either want to be close, they want to be far. We do this by moving back and forth along the bridge. They also spawn lava bomb ads that we will want to kill. If those ads reach the boss, they will explode and give everybody a vuln stack. They do have a little bit of a soft enrage on them, so we can't just ignore them. We do need to kill those lava bombs as quickly as possible. There is a big trap. If you open your map and you look at the floor plan of the arena of the bridge at the end, there is a fork in the road. There's a gap, and there is a left and right side. The boss of the bridge is past that. There's going to be a big trap in one of those 2 walkways and a small on the other side. Please, again, don't follow me when I go to pop those. For the Geo, please wait until I do the left, the top side first. And in that final section where the boss is, will be one more big trap. While that is being popped, please don't target that mob. We have had several early pulls where people just target it and an auto attack happened. Put your weapon away. Just don't even have it targeted. Make it really clear that if it gets early pulled, it's because I walked too far forwards instead of, oops, I cast a skill. Any bridge questions? Then the final thing to note is that all tank stances should be on to start with. I have watched this first pack here kill the Time Mage, and then we had no Time Mage for the Tower Abyss immediately after. And that was a very sad day. Yes, and you can't fall off. Don't have to worry about that. Yep, that is a nice solid wall there. You can't fall off there. Which is nice for blind sniping because it means that you can reach the other side much easier because you can go all like pixel perfect all the way to the edge. Third, working out assignments for main tank at the end. All right, the German group is doing their ready checks now. Oh, our tank has unlocked a new talent, the ability to pledge. Double check if your raid food is on. Healers, the lines that are on the floor, the line stacks, or the line AoEs, they do hurt a little bit. Make sure you're shielding. Make sure you're just keeping the group topped off. The Tower Abyss will do a raid wide, and it can also have a line happening at the same time. So make sure you're prepared for that. Countdown has started. Like I said, all tank stances should be on. I'm gonna stick to this line here in the middle left. We're gonna pull this first pack straight to the ward so we can cleave everything down. 2, 1, let's go. Straight to the ward with it. Straight to the ward with it. It's the alpha party in front. Or alpha tanks in front. Again, we're going to cleave everything down. Try to get them closer to the ward. Right, don't go past the hitbox. Don't go past the hitbox. There is a trap behind it. Dispel, trap is gone. Bravo party in front. Raid wide, mitigate and shield. Right. We can help the other side a bit with their... Oh, nope, they have just wiped. They didn't do their dispel. I think we need to all run to the front of the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go back. Just
We need to go
ignore
all the way
reses.
to the...
Don't take reses. Don't take reses. Get a chemist, but let a chemist die in the fire back there and rest them. And don't take that res.
Please raise that one. Don't take it. Yep.
No, everyone can die. Once the chemist has a rest, everyone can die.
Yep. You can, yes. Right, the chemist was in another party, so they're going to accept, hopefully...
Might have to heal yourself with a potion if you have one.
Well, they're not in our party, so... I think they're going to be okay.
We'll see. Yeah, seems like it.
They're definitely far away enough. Work on raising this side first. Just get everybody here on this side up. Grab the ones that you can from the number side.
Futko and Lana, I need you both to do something in a second. Once they're done on the number side.
They can't get any more up. They're all behind the barrier right now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's why I need those two to do something, because I don't know which tanks are alive right now. Probably not that many, and I see Haru and myself dead, so I see Cruel dead as well.
There's a couple others. They're pulling on the other side. They're pulling on the number side.
Don't enter the arena then. Just stay outside.
Right, Lana, you can help them. You can join them in this adventure once it resets. What they're doing is they're pulling the pack, and while they take aggro of it as the tanks, you're just gonna target anybody past the barrier, pop the revive on them, and then you just run. You run back out of the arena. So you can watch them do it a few times. Just don't go into the arena now. It's too late. Like once they pull, you want to run up, grab somebody, anybody, then leave. Right? They're going back in, so you can go. Yep. Just grab anybody behind the barrier, pop the revive, and then leave the arena. That is why we say one at a time. Let me see what I see. We can raise the healer and the tank that are chilling here in front of. Yeah, somebody's already coming over to do it. Cool. Luke, can you see how many are over there on our side? It's you at the back, somebody else. I know we have 2 in our group. Okay.
Was ist mit dir? Komm her. Komm her. Komm her. Bitch. Be barking, man.
All right. Looks like they got almost everybody on
Numbers
side.
is done. Numbers is fully done.
Now they're going to do letter side. Lana, you have it a bit easier and you can just party target. But Luke is going to be too far away. Right. Out of the arena. Out of the arena. Wait for it to reset. All right. We are going to do a new poll now. So we are going to have to pick up Luca and anybody else after we do the pull. So after the word goes down. It is only a single hit on the wild charge, so you can just take it on your own, Putko. All right, tank in front. All right, let's get the ward down. All right, move forwards. Oh, that was it. They timed out. Dispel. Dispel, dispel, both sides. Dispel. Raid wide. Oh, I didn't do the thing. Are the traps still there once they're any tank in front? Okay, bards on the outside wall. I'm going to pull the pack ahead of us with my bird. Can you make sure you grab them off me? Okay. Yep, the bard stop already went off. The Geo can follow me, but just stay back a little bit while I do this first side. It was the small. Wait. All right, Geo can go. All right, stance off, stance off. We are going to pull. We're going to stick to the far lane to start with, then move over to the close lane after. All right, moving over to the close lane. And that is why the aggro needed to be established. I believe in you, Futko. Yep, stance was off. No. Stance was off. But the person that was supposed to be main tanking didn't they fought aggro with somebody else. And then it didn't move. That tether has to be broken. And yeah. It's gonna be a reset now because there's just gonna be so many people. There's too many people permit at this point. But you get to see how things fail, which is a learning experience, right? You get to learn what not to do, right? Like, don't pull the ads in. Don't let the tether not explode. Don't forget the dispel. Yeah, it's not a wipe. It's a learning experience, right? All right, it is always a critical engagement and a fate in order to get back up to 20. The good news is, right, for those of you that are new, you do now qualify for prog runs. You have seen bridges. All right. Once this fate is over, that CE is spawned. Everybody needs to be in it. Anyways, I jokingly bring it up because there perhaps is a sign up for a prog run next week already in the thing that got posted today. There will be in the future. This week it's just that there was a newbie run that got to Boss Fort and Rage this past week, and a bunch of them wanted the prog run to happen on Wednesday and at the time that it is. If you message me afterwards, I can put it on our run requests about a weekend prog run, or like a Sunday one specifically. We have a nice little tracker for it so that we can see. We can't always meet it right away, but we do our best. Nice job with the Oracle. You just haven't learned to embrace the chaos of it yet. Looks like everybody is 20. You can leave the instance. All right. We have a short break, another 5-minute break. Again, get up, stretch. Look up anything you need to for boss 3. Bridges. Boss 2 is great. Alright, you have 5 minutes until the tower weather spawns. You can continue on with your little AFK journeys if you'd like to. Please AFK on the pavilion if you do go AFK. Right, pavilion is active. Time to put in ciphers. Make sure you're standing on the pavilion. Tower will teleport us in shortly. rolls look good, so once the barrier goes down, you can jump down. Don't forget to apply your food. And here we go with the ready check. All right, countdown has started. Make sure you are ready to go. Raid wide is first. Don't forget to shield at 10. Let's go. Raid wide. Get ready to move through the boss. It's through the boss and far. Through the boss and far. Through the boss and far again. Tank busters on Charlie. All right, numbers are going through. Everyone close for the knockback. Ride the knockback. Into your tower. Get ready for the rotation. Left side, Alpha 1. We're going to end the mechanic on Charlie. Move. Spread out for meteors. Make sure you can see what you have. Remember, the stack marker's blue line is needing to be pointed at the boss. Right, meteors stay. Everyone else through. It's knockback. Ride the knockback. Knockback first. Make sure you're riding. Rasta other side. No, Vibe doesn't jump you. Okay. That middle stack marker is not safe. We're not going to take that. Don't be in that middle stack marker. Hello, Luca. Right side, 3 marker. We're going to end the mechanic on Charlie. Right. Add phase is next. Right, numbers go through. Focus on the ads, dispel the big. And back on the boss. Alright, statues are spawning for the number groups. We're going to move to the side with the towers. Everyone far from the boss. Far from the boss. Numbers under a statue. Everyone into their towers. And then back left, front left if you are an uptime enthusiast but like taking rune stacks. Alright, our whole party is up, so we can just go. It's not a big deal. Don't forget to grab your personal spoils. Don't forget to rebuff at the crystal. Be on the Manticore's right side. Move. Alright. Off we go, up the stairs. Mobs have been pulled. Geo can go. Make sure you respect the AoEs. I am no longer there to help you. Alright. Geo can float again. Don't forget the slow. Nice one shot. So, you might be curious, oh, we're going this way now. This is a skip. This is where we skip the optional. It helps save time, especially with how long it takes to do the optional. Especially, we do this typically on third entrances for newbie runs. Prog runs will skip the extra stuff. Speedrun clears will skip the extra stuff. Is basically the only time you're going to see the extra hallway stuff there is if you're in a newbie run, like today, or in a full loot reclear. Chemist convention on the left per usual. And ready to check. All right, countdown has started. Remember, we're going to pull them middle to start with. Pull the middle, cleave them down. We are under 48 right now, which means when we do follow our bosses, we might have wrong tethers. Follow your boss and touch the hitbox, but pay attention to your debuff. Oh, that's funny. Futko, can you put your stance on and take over the green boss? Don't be in the point blanks. Don't be in the orange. Raid wide from the green boss to give out debuffs. Check your debuff. Cleanse with the opposite. Bravo side is safe. Bravo side is safe. We're going to pay attention to the other two and go between where they jump. Back towards Bravo. Help raise people on the floor. All right. Re-provoke the boss, Futko, and we're going to take it back to the 3 marker. Back to the 3 marker, yep. Delta attack, mitt, and shield. We're going to have a line stack. There's 2 line stacks here. Spread out, spread out, spread out. Don't be hit by both. Thank you. Okay. Woohoo. Good job. All right, snowball time. Letter snowball is at Bravo. Number snowball is at 3. Don't be in the orange. Attack the purple boss while you wait. Alpha and 1 tanks in front. Bravo and 2 tanks in front. Charlie and 3 tanks in front. Check to see if you are the stack tether. We're going to knock back on the Delta line. Together at the wall. And burst down the snowball. Range can go towards the middle to help the other side. Back on the purple boss for now. The other 2 will get up and will go in between where they jump. Behind 1, behind 1. All right, re-provoke our boss and take it back to the 3 marker. All right, we are going to have the next Delta attack. We're also going to have the line stack and then the tank buster. Looks like you don't have the tank buster, so come stand with us in the line stack. Yep. All right, don't stand any point blank. It's fireballs, letters to alpha, numbers to 1. Letters to alpha, numbers to 1. Fireballs are at alpha and 1, DPS on the line at the wall, healers to the sides, tank 1 in the tower, use some mitigation. Tank 1 invuln. Together on the wall with the DPS. Together on the wall with the DPS. 1, 2, 3. Take the line stack together. And then back into position. Don't cross over. Stay here. Just stay here. If you're ranged, you can attack the boss in the middle to build some gauge. Help raise players on the other side. The other two bosses are going to get up and we're going to jump between them. Switch targets once they're targetable. All right, behind 3. Once we get them down to 0, we can move towards Bravo. This is a raid-wide. Reprisal doesn't work, but you can use things like your shield healing and the infamous LB. Don't forget your loot. What's rain do? Bonus shield, I see. All right. Tank stance is on. We can do ready checks. Or at least we'll do a ready check.
Although I disagree about it being funny me getting the wrong tower.
I think it was hilarious out of all
No,
the
because
people,
I'm the
it's
only
you.
one that can't just swap. Well, I can,
know.
but then the whole other ad has to deal with it.
You still got your hit off and you swapped afterwards. I think that's the
Yeah,
difficult
but I
part.
lost my initial full burst.
I am very sorry.
Can't even go over there to hit the other ad. I just have to wait. It sucks. They shouldn't give it to main tanks, like, ever.
Especially with a tank buster immediately following. That's a
Yeah,
conal cleave buster.
like, why would you ever have the main tank not be aggro, well, tethered to that one?
All groups are ready. Countdown is going to start in a moment. And there it is. Countdown has started. Right. Pull them to the ward. Alpha party in front. Or alpha tanks in front. Cleave everything down. Do not go past the hitbox. Do not go past the hitbox. Trap is gone. Bravo tanks are going to be in front. Mitt and shield. Dispel has already happened. Good job. You can help the other side with their dispel now if you want to. Right, work on the ward. Bards can be on the outside lane. If you're ranged, you can help the other side take down their ward. Right, bards can stop. Pull these mobs off me, please. Thank you. We're going to cleave and everything down. Geo, you can follow me, just to stay behind me until I say go forwards. Right, it's safe for the Geo. Oh, do you want me to do it? You gotta go do it. I got a trap to pop. Our side is good. We're waiting on the other side. Tank stance is off now. We are doing the honorary jump to say that we are ready. We're going to keep it on the far lane to start with. And then we move to the close lane. We want this tether to break. There we go. It's gone. Berserkers are going to be in front for this next line. We're going to kill some lava bomb ads. The mob will be pulled away from us. Just focus on the ads. Don't worry about the orange floor. It is just a mild fire bleed. Back on the boss. Berserkers are going to be in front again. Then we're going to move to the far lane. We want that tether to break. We're going to have a stack marker, and as soon as the stack is over, we're going to move back towards the close lane. This next line, any tank without a debuff can be in front. And we're going to kill the lava bomb ads. Kill the lava bomb ads. They're more important. And then you can work on the boss. All right. We are at boss 3. The light bulb dragon. All right, so I'm going to start our explanations. The first thing, there is a 2 marker down in the middle of the arena. Unless we are doing a specific mechanic. We will be parked down the 2 marker. We have won the housing lottery. It is a 48-man bunk bed. That's just where we live. The boss does a frontal and back conal cleave. It is baited on a random person. And therefore, if we're all stacked on 2, then that means the left and right sides of the arena are safe. Or well, at least the left and right sides of the boss. It goes out in a nice cone. You get the gist. This cleave does a knockback and will send you into the wall, so we want to always bait it on 2 unless told otherwise. There are a bunch of mechanics in this fight where the gist of the mechanic is we're going to bait on 2 and then we're going to dodge either left towards 4 or right towards delta. We do not want to move early for these and bait the cleave into those spots because those are where our safe spots will be from other AoEs. The boss will spawn a lot of water puddles during this fight. You can stand in the water puddles. They don't do anything. However, the water puddles will get frozen depending on what is happening, and if you are standing in a water puddle when it freezes, you will receive a ruin stack. The way they freeze is they'll be hit by either something like an ice tornado, an ice AoE on the floor, the dragon diving through the arena. It is not that complicated. We're just gonna, for the most part, stand on 2, wait until we're told to move, and then move to the left or right side of the arena and dodge the AoEs. Ad phase is by far the most complicated part of this, and that is just because there is a little bit of movement involved. There are going to have, we're going to have 6 ice golems spawn, and there's going to be 1 for each party, and it's going to spawn near that party's waymarker. Tanks, you are going to grab this ad and you're going to take it out towards the wall. And that's all you're going to do with it. You are not going to move it around. You're going to just chill at the wall with it. The only thing you do is dodge AoEs. So you dodge the AoEs. There's going to be a line cleave from the boss. There's going to be a plus or X-shaped cleave coming from the middle of the arena. You're just going to dodge that, and you're just going to chill near the marker. And that's all you're going to do with that ice golem. For the rest of the party, we will be chilling around the alpha marker, and if there is a tower that spawns behind the marker, we're going to take that tower. If there is no tower behind the alpha marker, we're going to shift over a little bit, and we're going to take the tower at the 4 marker. This applies to every group. Alpha 2 and 3, if they don't have a tower, they're going to go take it at 4. Bravo, Charlie, and 1, if they don't have a tower, they're going to go take it at delta. It is always in that priority order. The towers are little water puddles that freeze when the dragon dives through the arena or when the middle explosion puddle explodes or whatever. The dragon does dive through the middle tower, and the towers always spawn in a set of 3. So, for example, the towers might spawn ABC 1, 2, 3. Then that means the dragon will be diving through Bravo and 2 because that is the middle tower. Any questions about that? About ad phase? We do that whole thing twice. It's mainly a follow the Dorito, the mechanic. Make sure you take towers. You can take 2 towers. The towers go off in 2 sets. They go off the middle towers first, and then all the outer towers second. Tanks, you want to have stance on. We have tank busters here that are bleed busters. You're going to use your kitchen sink for it. So, Futko, you're going to take the first buster. Luca will take the second because he's a berserker. Futko, just because you are paired with a berserker today for the buster, you can just pop Phantom Guard. But ideally, you're going to just pop all of your normal mitigations, and you just don't want to invuln it. Invulning the buster doesn't work in the sense that the buster is longer, the dot tick is longer than your invuln will last, and if you've taken it with no mitigation and you've only taken it with invuln, the tick after it falls off, your invuln falls off, is basically going to kill you. There is a mechanic after ad phase that will get out debuffs. The way that works is you want to be hit by 1 AoE with that debuff. It will just be going out to the left or right again. It's the same as the very first mechanic will do, but the difference is that when the rest of the group dodges the final AoE, the people with the debuff are just going to stay and take the hit. And for the very final tower mechanic, we will be baiting on 2 to start with, but it is possible that the second bait is not done on 2. If the second bait is not done on 2, we're going to do it directly east and west so the boss is facing the delta or 4 marker. I don't think there's anything else really to cover unless you have questions, and then I can answer them. You can just start with stance on the whole fight. Or you can start with stance on, and then once you've taken your buster, you can just turn your stance off. I'll call when you need to provoke just to make sure you do have aggro, but you can just start with stance on. It's very early the buster. Like it's not the first thing that happens, but like it's not super late in the fight. Haru is still explaining things to the German side. So if you want to, in the embeds that got posted in our run thread, there are some clips in there to some videos of how, for example, ads is done and how the final set of towers is done. If you want to watch those while we're waiting, that is perfectly fine. Short of something going drastically wrong at ad phase, this is pretty much a one-shot fight. Now you can play the game that I play when I'm not listening, like in the same voice channel as somebody. Is where in the explanations do you think he is? Based on this jumping, where do you think he is? What is he possibly explaining? Don't forget to wiggle to just keep yourself from getting AFK'd. All right, ready checks are going out. Countdown has started. We're going to pull the boss to 2 and just keep him on 2. Three, two, one. Stay on 2. First up will be a raid wide. It is a bleed raid wide. Stay here on 2. We're going to dodge to the sides in a moment. Move to the sides of the boss. Back on 2. Small raid wide. We're going to be dodging to the left or right here. I'll call the side early. We will be dodging to the left. Wait. Move left just north of the 4 marker. Just north of the 4 marker. We can move south. You can provoke now. This is your kitchen sink mitigation. You can just use Phantom Guard. And then back on 2. We're going to be dodging to the right this time. Stay here on 2. The boss will jump into the middle in a moment. Move right towards Delta. Middle or wall is safe. Wall at Delta is safe. south towards 1 for 2 more hits. 1, 2. Luca can provoke. Fuko, you can turn off your stance. Alright, this is going into add phase after this. If you're ranged, you can already start moving to your party marker. Pull the golem to the wall. Fuko, I need you to put stance on. It is the Bravo and 2 group that adjust, but we need to dodge Delta and 4 because the dragon is diving through Delta and 4. So Fuko, just stay here. Just move to dodge the AoE. Take the middle tower. And then dodge. Take the outer tower. Mitt and shield. This is a double bleed. This can hurt. We're going to dodge the Bravo and 2 towers, and then we're going to take them first. Dodge the outer towers. Take the outer towers. Alright, and then... Oof. There's gonna be sprites. We need to kill them and this golem that's over here. Help with the golem first. Help with the golem first. Bards, you can stop to freeze time to give us more time on the ice sprites. If you need to spend big stuff on the sprites just to kill them, then I would do so. If they get to the boss, they cause a wipe because he gets buffed. He's got 3 stacks. How much does this is for? Yep, nope, that's... Well, I did mention that short of something catastrophic going on at ad phase. That is all right, though. Like I said, we have prog run next week, and there is a there will be signups the week after. I don't think there will be a prog run the week after, but there likely be another newbie run. You can sign up for that as well. I don't know what day anything is going to be on yet. I only know this upcoming week. It is awkward calling not to 48, but to a party of 8, I gotta say. But it's fine. As mentioned, getting past bridges is anything past that is a bonus. You've now seen the majority of what's going on at Boss 3, so you're really good for a prog run. Because prog runs work under the assumption that you haven't done any Boss 3.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Chemist.
Bye-bye.